While Democrats make their stance on abortion clear, Republicans are wrestling with the issue. The new GOP platform drops the push for a federal abortion ban for the first time in 40 years, a major change that reflects former President Trump's position. The shift has angered some pro-life groups who say the party isn't doing enough to protect the unborn and is weakening its stance on a core issue. The Faith Family Freedom Fund, led by Tony Perkins, is launching a new campaign to raise awareness about the shift and who they believe is responsible. And with that, let's bring in Tony Perkins, president of the Family Research Council. Tony, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Wendy.
Senator Marsha Blackburn is the chair of the GOP's platform committee. What role do you believe she played in weakening the Republican Party's traditionally pro-life stance?
Well, Wendy, I think she led the effort as the chair of the platform committee. I've been on the platform committee going back, I think, 4 or 5 conventions. This is the only time that the convention, the platform, the delegates, 112, 2 from each state and territory, didn't have an opportunity to even read it, debate it, or amend it. It was just pushed through. And it not only weakens the party's stance on life, removing the call for a constitutional amendment, a human life amendment, it removes the call to apply the 14th Amendment to the unborn, but it also removes the definition of marriage. It takes out the Second Amendment. It removes a strong stand for Israel. So it's a very, very weak platform. And Marsha Blackburn is the one who forced it through.
Tony, what do you think is motivating this shift? Do you think some Republicans are saying, well, we got to win the White House. We got to do what we can to get in that place. Otherwise, everything could go wrong on the abortion issue.
Well, I think that might be part of it. But when you look at the totality of the platform, a lot of substance was removed. And I think you're absolutely right, Wendy, that there are some post-2022 that think abortion is a liability. But as you just heard from David Brody, this is going to be a base election. And when you have the Democrats, and Walz has a liberal record, extreme record on abortion, just like Kamala Harris. Well, if they're making this one of their top issues and the Republican response to it is crickets, well, it's not going to motivate the base. And this is where I think this is going to hurt the Republicans. If they're not willing to talk about the sanctity of human life and why it should be protected in every zip code, that our support for life as a party does not stop at the boundary of a state, then if we can't do that, then we've lost our way. And quite frankly, Wendy, I think the Republicans are going to lose a lot of support from pro-life voters who actually came into the Republican Party because of this issue.
Big issue for sure. Well, what is the Faith Family Freedom Fund doing to try to strengthen the GOP's abortion platform?
Well, with Marsha Blackburn leading this effort as the chairman of the platform, removing life, the definition of marriage, and not even allowing discussion on it, this was unprecedented. And so we want her constituents in the state of Tennessee to ask her why. Why is she jettisoning the Second Amendment? Why is she weakening the party's stand on life and marriage? Because if Republicans abandon these fundamental issues that are principal issues, are defining issues, then you're going to see a lot of people that, I mean, they're not going to vote for Harris and Walz, but they're not going to work for Republicans either, because they've worked for decades for the Republican Party to advance those candidates because of those core value issues. And so I think Marsha's constituents need to ask her why. Why did she lead this effort to turn the GOP away from these core principle, conservative, and I would add biblical issues?
Tony Perkins, we appreciate your insights. Thanks for being on the program.
Thank you, Wendy.